Hey everyone, back with another video. This one here, again, is going to have time lapse in it. We're getting ready to do all the sanding and prep work needed. Some removal of the old dupli-color, bed armor with the Kevlar. I've got that all down the sides of the rockers and all over the rock sliders. I'll be working on removing it from the bumpers as well. So we're getting ready to do all that prep work so we can spray the chassis saver. So stay tuned, watch. I'll do a follow-up at the end of the time lapse, so you're not going to just end with just time lapse video. So, all right, talk to you guys in a second. Hey everyone, taking a short break, pretty tired, about 12:20 in the morning, and I ate through one of my wire wheels I have on my 4.5-inch angle grinder, so I need to change that. Figured I'd do an update and show you guys the progress. So let me take you off the tripod and give you a look. This side doesn't have nearly as much done as the driver's side, but it's in better lighting. Nothing done up here at all. All the work's been back here on the rear quarter. I've taken the bed liner off all the way down to the metal around the fender lip. And then back here, all the way down to the metal as well. Sanded all the clear coat where it was coming off. Still got a lot more to do on this side, so much more to do on this side. You know, and then I'm going to have to come in here with hand sand all the detail stuff because I don't want any of this stuff to start peeling off. And to be honest with you, these are the crucial areas where I'm going to be hitting with chassis saver, is all inside of like taillight area, all inside of the gas filler area. Obviously everywhere I took it down to the metal, you know, the bases of the door, stuff like that. Anywhere you're going to see rust. This section here on the tailgate, I would say from right about here to there, is prone to rust on the backside, on both sides, plus then, you know, along the bottom. So all that stuff's going to have to be hand sanded and cleaned down and to bare metal and hit with chassis saver, because, you know, my truck's, other than some surface rust that it's acquired to, you know, over the year that I've been here, it's essentially rust free. No cancer on the body or anything like that. So I'm going to do my best to try to keep it that way. So anyway, you can see down here along the base where the bumper is and where the tire carrier mounts, or not the mounts because the mounts are on the side, but the tire carrier has a couple of brackets that attach right there. All of that's cleaned down to bare metal. I'm dropping things. This side's going to be really difficult for you to see because I don't have very good light here in this corner. But that rear quarter's cleaned all the way to the metal, all the way around the fender lip is to the metal. You can see this side's been sanded really, really well. It still needs more sanding. but it's all the way to the front. This, as you get forward, it's not quite as good, but even up here on the A-pillar, sanded, a little bit up on the roof as well as sanded. I don't know how easy that is for you guys to see. So all of the dupli-color bed armor that was running down the rocker over here is removed, with the exception of the rock slider. It's still got quite a bit on the rock slider, and then jammed up underneath here on the rocker. I'm going to get as much of that off as possible. I was told by Monstaliner, the owner of the company, that as long as I rough up the surface of the dupli-color, which it's already really rough, but rough it up so you're scuffing it a little bit, the Monstaliner will adhere to it. So in areas like in the inner fender wells where I have dupli-color, I'm just going to go in there with the wire brush and clean what I can clean, and that's pretty much it. I do know that dupli-color, you're able to paint over it, so I'm probably still going to spray chassis saver over the top of that. The more layers I have on there, the better the protection's going to be, so I'll probably still spray chassis saver over the top of the dupli-color, then put the Monstaliner over that. And I'm just referring to the inner fender well, so not the body. The body's going to be clean. Okay? That's extremely important to me, that the finish on the body is absolutely pristine. Inner fender well's not too concerned about this. I use this for off-roading, so it's going to take a beating under there. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to put you guys on the tripod and do some time lapse of me cleaning up this side, the rocker area, or the lower portion of the door area, so that you guys can actually see that. I'm going to do some up close stuff. I'll probably, I don't know, I might give you guys this angle right here, just so you can see this. Yeah, that's a pretty good angle. So anyway, sit tight and enjoy. Hey everyone. Okay, so as you saw in the time-lapse video, I pretty much got all the dupli-color bed armor off the truck. At least the areas where I'm going to remove it completely. I'm not going to go all the way around in all the nooks and crannies of the rock sliders and that rocker panel, because it just doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to be able to get in there very well. It's just going to be a nightmare. So short of having this thing sandblasted, I'm just not going to be able to get those areas. So, but it'll be fine. I got the top face and the side face of the rock slider smooth. It's not completely off, but it's smooth enough where I put the Monstaliner over it, spray the chassis saver over it first, put the Monstaliner over it, that it'll be fine. It'll be more than adequate. You saw that I decided to hit this with the wire wheel and get that brought down to bare metal. I'm trying to get as much of this stuff so when I get the vibrator sander tomorrow, because I'm out of sandpaper, they could just hit the flat surfaces and get this thing painted. Did a little bit of work here in the suspension area. I made up my mind. I'm going to pull that shock out of there on both sides. I'm going to pull the strut rod out of here too, because if you look, that bushing is smashed, split open. So I'm going to pull that strut rod out of there and pull the shock out. I'm going to cover up the brakes, and I'm going to spray that entire steering and control arms, frame, all of that stuff. It's going to be sloppy. I really should take it, ideally I would like to take each individual component out of there and paint it, but I'm not going to do that because of one reason only. I'm planning on putting a solid axle on the front of this. So by the time I have any rust issues here in the front end, I'm going to already have everything all cut out of there anyways, and I'm going to start putting the solid axle in. I'm hoping to have the axle and start on that by, I don't know, by spring of next year, hopefully. So I'm just going to, like I said, just remove the shock, cover up the brakes, remove the strut rod so I can replace that bushing, degrease everything, and hit it with the wire brush, especially like on this side where I haven't, and just spray it with chassis saver. It'll help pretty it up, make it look a little bit more proper underneath there and clean, and hopefully prevent these nuts and bolts and things like that from rusting and becoming a nightmare for me when it is time for me to remove all this stuff. So that's basically it, man. I'm tired. It's about 2:25 in the morning. I still got a long way to go, but I will be spraying chassis saver on this thing tomorrow. Tomorrow night more than likely, but I will be doing it. I got a lot of work to do on this tailgate still. Yeah, a lot of work. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying this. I'm really happy that I've had the opportunity to actually do something on this scale to my truck. I've been wanting to do something about the bad clear coat and stuff like that for a long time, and I'm really happy that I'm doing this, and to the degree that I'm doing it. I don't like doing things half-assed, and a lot of people get scared when it comes to doing stuff like this because they don't, the idea of tearing their vehicle down to the point that I have is scary for a lot of people because they're worried that maybe I don't have the money to replace stuff if it breaks. What if I don't know how to put it back together? So on and so forth. And, I wouldn't recommend doing this with a daily driver. I do have another vehicle that I can drive. So that's why I feel comfortable doing this. If this was my daily driver, I wouldn't be doing this right now. And it's just solely based on I would need it. I have the time to do this, and I have another vehicle to drive, so that's why I'm taking this to the extent that I am. But I will tell you this: with painting, with putting the Monstaliner on, anything that you're doing when it comes to finish work on the body of your vehicle, if you want it to look good, if you want it to be legitimately looking good, you have to tear it apart, okay? Because there's nothing that I think it's real tacky when you go and, like, let's say you go to a local car show and you look like right here on the edge where the trim is and the paint, and you'll see the paint line or where the clear's starting to kind of like flake a little bit right on there because they didn't paint all the way underneath the trim and then put the trim back on. That's tacky to me, and that's one of those things that some people don't care about, but it makes a real big difference. It really does. It'll make a finish go from, that's okay, to, wow, that looks really nice. you know, and it just boils down to prep work and how far you're willing to tear the vehicle down to get everything painted and all the little nooks and crannies like that and cleaned up properly. So that's why I opted to do this, because I want this thing to look really good when I'm done with it. I don't want to regret that I didn't take it apart. So anyway, long video this time. Hope you made it through it. Make sure to check out Monstaliner.com. You can get Chassis Saver on that website as well. It's the same company. Or you can go to magnetpaints.com. That's the company that makes both of these products. So I'm using 2 gallons of black. I'm using a gallon of white, which I'm going to have a lot of white left over, which is cool though, because I might use it in my trailer, to be honest with you. And I'm using a quart of red for the little red pinstripes that are on there. So check that stuff out. Great product, great company, and talk to you guys later. Oh, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, check out my website, alvarezmetalworks.com. Go like my Facebook page, please. You can just type in Alvarez Metalworks on the search on Facebook, or you can click on the link either on my YouTube channel homepage or alvarezmetalworks.com. It's at the top of the page. Talk to you guys later.